What's going on? How are we doing? Once again, Andre Early here. Welcome back to yet another episode of Right Now Leaders. I'm excited today about our conversation. Switched it up a little bit, so I have two lovely young professionals with me, and we're going to engage in yet another conversation. So before we start that, we're going to turn over to my little sisters and have a brief intro.
Yeah, I'll go first. Hi, my name is Taylor. I graduated from NYU. I studied business technology management there at their engineering school. So think everything business, those typical business classes, marketing, intro to finance, macroeconomics. Then I also had a technology component, so I took a lot of computer science classes, calculus 1, 2, and 3, bio and physics, all that fun stuff, which was great. Then post that, I now currently work at a Big Four consulting firm working as a technology consultant, and I specialize in data analytics and AI. And I work primarily in technology, media, and telecommunication companies.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have some questions for you.
Oh,
But go
I
ahead.
know once I said that one, you were going to jump in.
Hello, my name is Joelle Gardner. I graduated with a major in political science, minor in Spanish from Hampton University. Um, and then I just graduated with my master's in business administration from Hampton University as well. I currently work as a community reinvestment financial analyst. I used to work as a real estate showing assistant, but I quit that job. And so yeah, real estate is kind of like my bread and butter, what I want to do, corporate real estate, property management, development, acquisition, things of that sort. So yeah.
Awesome,
Cool.
awesome. Just welcome, welcome, welcome. I already have to get back to you. I'm sorry, Joe. What fine institution did you graduate from again?
Hampton
I am
University.
so familiar with that lovely university.
I
If you
know.
know, you know. Home by the sea. All right, awesome. Taylor, quick question.
Yeah.
AI.
Yes.
Where are we going with that? What's
You,
going on?
what scares me is that I don't know. And I think that most people don't know. The state that it's in right now, it's very advanced and it can get even more advanced. So, and the implementation into the work life that we have now, people don't know the extent of it, but it's really, really good. It's really good. It can really replace my job if we're being
Can
honest.
it really?
Yeah. But someone has to do the work to train it to do that job.
Okay.
So that's where there's a bit of a disconnect right now. But these large tech companies, they're putting billions of dollars. My company just put in $1 billion investment in AI, Gen AI, just in general. So we're working towards getting it into our day-to-day lives, especially at these technology firms. But it's coming and it's here really. It's just a matter of, are you willing to adapt to it and start using it as an additive in your day-to-day life, or just completely ignore it in general and then be left behind. You end up being the blockbuster while Netflix happens. It's ever changing, it's super quick, and I think people should just be aware of what is going on with it right now. Just get familiar with it, understand what it is, and see how you can incorporate it in your day-to-day life before it's just everything is AI now.
Okay. Well, so I dabble in it a little bit.
Yeah.
I use it as a resource, of course,
Right.
using it as a foundation in nature, and then, of course, build upon that. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to. I want to make sure that we don't use it as a crutch either.
100%.
You know.
I think that that's what some people are leaning towards, and that's what worries me. Like seeing in the creative space, like at advertising agencies, they're making AI commercials, not using real people or not using real people to do the editing and coming up with the ideas. You can use it as, like you said, a foundation, getting a base. Give me a list of ideas. Then you guys have the discussion, the actual people who are working there, to figure out how to use that to really enhance what you're already doing. It doesn't need to be solely AI, just an additional resource.
Gotcha, gotcha. So let me ask this because I have to go back a little bit because I know we want to talk about, you know, your both of you guys' respective journeys, career journeys, how you ended up on this path. What are some of the common pitfalls, obstacles, hurdles, and then just being young professionals in a culture and in an environment that sometimes either A, overlook us, or most importantly too, may even disrespect us. So have at it.
Want to take it away?
Sure, I'll go
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll talk about my journey through how I ended up where I'm at right now. So I started, I can say during COVID, about the career path that I wanted to go in. Thought I wanted to be a doctor. It is what it is. Changed my major. Decided I love history and political science and law, so I decided to go that path. But then during COVID, when I was just in the house, I started to realize that I wanted to be in real estate. And so then I was like, okay. So my mom was like, okay, take the 75-hour course to get your real estate license. So I started there, and then I got in touch with my mentor. She works at Walgreens as a senior portfolio manager of like the Mid-Atlantic region. So I got in contact with her. She got me to work with like Julian Lawrence and things like that. Got me into ICSC, which is kind of like International Shopping Center. So a lot of people every year go to Las Vegas and New York City, and they kind of just network with like brokers. Anybody you can think of, they're there. Subway, Walgreens, CVS, like anything that needs real estate, they're there to make business deals and talk with people as well. So that's actually how I got my first internship as an assistant property manager at First Washington Realty. And yeah, so that was really fun. It put me on the path to realize like kind of the role I want to play. And so then that was nice. And then I got my MBA and decided that I wanted to get my MBA so I can work kind of in real estate and kind of use the business analytic aspect of what I got. And then so that's kind of where I'm at. And then after my MBA, I got the community reinvestment financial analyst job, and that was fun. It was only for 6 months, and so I just did a project, collected data from kind of the fiscal year of last year. We went through all types of like, I'm trying to like not say. Okay. So yeah, like I used the data in order to kind of make a project about how we're gonna give families more money, kind of thing. Cool. So yeah, so that was really fun too. I realized that I can put into practice what I've learned in school.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
was something.
Well, that's always a good thing.
I know, right? It's like it wasn't for nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was nice. And then while I was doing that, I was working 2 jobs as a real estate showing assistant too, because I always want to make sure that I'm always doing something in real estate to get that kind of experience. So, but it was kind of hard and stuff like that, and it's not what I really want to do. So yeah, I put my 2 weeks in, and then my last day was last Monday.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
Well, that was
PSA: don't just work jobs because you need the money, because then you'll end up being upset.
Mm.
So yeah,
That is something.
you got to do what you really want to do, career-wise. So yeah, that's where I am.
That's a key component to being successful. I do have a question though about your internship and then this recent employment experience. What did you learn? How did you navigate? And then what's next?
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So I guess we'll start with the internship. What I learned in the internship was that because that was like my first like being in corporate spaces with real professionals that have been in their businesses for a really long time. So that was something new for me. I didn't expect it to go so well. I don't know. I really learned a lot about myself, kind of my resilience, and also like my determination to get things done when I'm really happy at where I am. And also when you have like people around you that want to see you win and grow. So I will say that in that company, they were always willing to help me, always willing to answer my questions and things like that. And I feel like, a good workspace is so important for that and also to grow as a person and also professionally. So that's what I learned. And then also what I learned in this real estate showing is assistant job is that I can walk up, 6th floor walk ups and, get back down again and then go back up again. Do that about 6 times over because, you got to get the next person and the next person. So I realized that my legs are really strong. No, but yeah, it was really tiring. Like sometimes I did not want to get up in the morning. It was fun at first, but then, my boss really just wanted to get all those showings in. So there would be times when I had like 30 showings a day and like it would be like back to back 5-minute intervals. But we know that sometimes you need like 10-15 minutes to really see if you want an apartment or not. I just always felt like 5 minutes wasn't enough. And in the end, like when people are late, that kind of like makes everything late if they're 5 minutes apart. So it was a lot on me, and mentally I just couldn't do it anymore. So I was like, I'm gone. And the money wasn't enough, your girl's got an MBA, so you gotta make sure you get what you're worth, okay? So
Definitely.
yeah, so that's what I learned right there. And then what's next is real estate. I now am not going to, I'm about to have no job by the middle of August. So it's like, sometimes you have to go through the motions of just, being a young adult, kind of looking and also being like a grad is so hard because I feel like people want you to have the experience, but how can I have the experience if I just spent like, I don't know, 12 years in school? So it's like, that's also what kills me sometimes. And I hate that, but there is someone that will give you a chance. And I'm just looking for that person. So right now I'm in real estate. I'm not taking random jobs. Northwestern always talks to me about
Nice little slip there. Okay. All right.
But yeah,
We do not really publicly endorse anyone. No.
How those
Right.
how those financial companies are always trying to recruit people.
Yes.
But yeah, so right now I'm just looking. Yeah, if you're watching this and you want to hire me, you girls, real estate, finance,
Little plug.
Yeah, I gotta plug myself forward.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's what's up.
Awesome.
Talk to me, Taylor.
Yeah, I think your point of like getting your first shot, that's pretty relevant to how my trajectory happened. So I was in my sophomore year of college, and in the consulting and investment banking, corporate America roles, you have to really start that internship process really early to get that full-time offer. It's a bit of a different recruiting cycle. You start recruiting when you're 19 years old for a job that you're going to have when you're 23. So it's a little interesting, but during my sophomore year, this was my COVID year, so I was at home. I wasn't even on the dorms for my college. I was in my parents' house. And as much as I love my parents, I needed to make the next step to live my New York City life, get that internship, get my apartment, and really grow up. So I went through a really intensive process to figure out how to get my internship. And the competitiveness there is real. It's intense. So there are a lot of programs that are set up to really help Black and also Latino college students to get those internships. And the one that I used was called Inroads, and really big fan of that. And there are other alternatives. There's SEO and MLT, and they work with a lot of college students to specifically get them into those really intensive internship programs. So that's what I did during my sophomore year. I went through the entire year working with them to get my internship, interview prep, resume prep, just regular corporate, understanding how corporate lingo works, all of that stuff. So I did that, and I got an internship for the summer going into my junior year at an insurance company doing data analytics. And that was my sort of first step. That was the first thing on my resume. That was a real internship experience, 3 months in New York City. And that was the stepping stone for me to get my internships later on and then my full-time job. And at that internship, it was, again, my first experience. It was on Zoom, but I think that I got a good understanding of what corporate America is like, understanding workplace dynamics, how to sit in a meeting, take notes, sending out those emails, understanding who's the boss, when it's really not the boss, all those weird things. But you have to really experience that in an internship or a full-time job to get that. You wouldn't learn that in school. So I think that was a really good stepping stone for me. And I got a lot of my internships after that just because of that experience. So really appreciative of that. Shout out to Inroads for sure. They got me where I'm at now.
Okay.
And then after that, I had different internships in different industries. I was at a big bank, at entertainment companies, and then the consulting firm that I work at now. And that's what I did my full-time offer.
Okay. All right. So charting that course, I do in full transparency. Clearly, both of you know, I know both parents. And one, how supportive they have been, and two, how resourceful they are.
Definitely.
So for those that may not have that type of support, as they start to figure out, what they're trying to do with their careers and their lives, what type of nugget of wisdom can you offer as it relates to resources that are available out there?
Yeah. Is this audience college students or?
It will be. Actually college students and early career hires.
Okay. Yeah. I think I would say for the college students, utilize those clubs that are at your school.
Yes.
The alumni network that you have at whatever school you go to can carry you a very long way. And they put in a lot of money in recruiting and trying just to understand the young talent that's offered at schools. And they have these clubs, they have a consulting club, and I'm speaking from that side, that's what I know most of, but they have a consulting club, an investment banking club, and they do trainings and interview sessions and case prep to get people involved in understanding what it takes to do that. And if you don't necessarily have the resources, like a family member that's in those industries, not really knowing what it is, it's a great introduction into what that space is. So I would totally recommend using the clubs at your schools. The resources there are completely unmatched, and you probably won't have another environment like that where it's so concentrated of so many people that can help propel your career forward.
Okay.
That's good. I would say, I don't know, my family were huge on like love. So I could say that a lot of my friends have gotten like internships and things like that due to the people that my family knows, and just like us wanting to see the people around us being really, just growing as people. So I could say like kind of utilize the people around you, and also books are really important. If you read and things like that, there are always ways to get into a career you want to be in, and it's out there, resources are out there as well. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, like there's someone out there who needs you. Like there's people are needed all over the world. So I could say that too. Just your friends, your family, even if it's not your parents, there's someone around you that you might not want to ask for help, because I know that sometimes that's my friends too. They don't want to ask for help, but sometimes you have to just be that person that's like, hey, like, what do you want to do? Because I'm always asking my friends, like, kind of, what is the career path you want? Some say, I don't know, and then some say this, that, and if I can help in any way, then I will.
Yeah, I think there's like an unexpected network that people don't know. Just having a conversation, then it comes up and say, oh, I know so-and-so who works here. Let's put you into two and two together, and then have that happen. It's just really putting yourself out there, which can be a little uncomfortable, but just talking about what you're interested in, what you want, and you never know who's listening,
Right.
or who is listening, and they know someone else who could help you. So really just, again, putting yourself out there in those situations can really go a long way too.
Don't live life in regret.
Truly.
So I do have a question. I was having a conversation earlier this week, and we came up with something pretty much, and you probably heard it before. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance.
Yeah.
So how in the world do you guys navigate, your self-awareness, your confidence? yeah, I think I've known you guys for, a few years, and just the humility, the humble way you guys are. How do you navigate, and how do you share with others? Like, you know what? I need to check you real quick because what you did was inappropriate. You're showing your arrogance right now,
Yeah.
and you're not. You have no business. But
Yeah, I think there's an element of knowing your audience and knowing when to pull in that humble brag, when to leverage, oh, I have this and this in my back pocket, and being able to back that up. Like you can't just be speaking and then when you have to execute, there's nothing to show for that. But that humble brag does need to come out sometimes, advocating for yourself for promotion or getting a raise. Say, I did XYZ. Respectfully, you guys are not coming correctly for what I'm doing. So we need to work this out. But if you're, in a more chill session, just trying to share your experience and stuff like that, you don't want to say, oh, I worked at the number one firm and blah, 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 this, that, and that. You're just talking to talk, really. There's a knowing your audience that you have to do to really understand and get your point across in the right way. And that confidence comes with knowing who you are, knowing who you're talking to, and also what you have in your back pocket, what you can share with.
Yeah, I actually want to piggyback on that because I kind of really understand that due to me leaving my job, because it was kind of like wanting to stay because you're appreciative, but at the same time, like knowing your worth, and like the time when they're like, are you being arrogant or are you just knowing,
Right.
yeah, you're just yourself. So that was something that I struggled with a lot. And then, I talked to multiple people and they were just like, no, you need to leave. So I'm like, okay, I know I must not be crazy or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can say that my family keeps me really grounded. They, like, the people around me keep me really grounded. So I've never been an arrogant person, I feel like. So why start now in my older years, So, but I do know, I would say that I'm confident in like what I bring to the table, and also just, yeah, and I'm confident in my work and the things that I've done, and I am able to back it up like you said.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not? I am humble, but I'm also confident, I could say. And so just navigating that, and also I've had to check multiple friends about that, but it's out of love. So it's not like some people kind of come off too strong or things like that, and people sometimes don't acknowledge the fact that, is this going to come out to this person the way that they can kind of receive it. So I feel like that's something that I feel a lot of people don't do. Like, would you receive it the same way if they said this to you? And I feel like that's how you kind of have to start every conversation, some hard conversations, I could say. So, yeah, but it is all out of love. So just like, hey, like, you do that. And everybody knows that, like, Joelle never comes from malicious intent. So it's like, yeah, she's saying this because she loves you. So,
Yeah.
So, has there ever been a time where that confidence has been tested due to a professional or maybe even a personal setback? And how did you deal with it? How did you face it? And do you really feel that, you're like, wow, how am I going to get through this?
Thinking back on the past 2 years. I think that there have been a couple people in my career that have tested that confidence. I'm going in saying one thing and they're a bit more higher up and more experienced, and they don't believe in what I'm saying that I have a lack of experience and I might not be right. And them just taking what I recommend for the project that we're working on. They say, oh no, Taylor, the associate, and the director or partner says, no, we'll just do it my way. But I was really confident in what I had, and I put myself out there, gave a whole plan, whatever. They ignored it. Project ended up going a little bit south because of that. We missed some deliverables, and it didn't work well. And it was very disappointing, very upsetting. I logged off for that day, and I just cried a little bit. I had to just give myself some time, have a moment. Then I went to my support system. I called my mom, my poor mother. I call her every day complaining about my job. But I reached out to her and she says, Taylor, you can do it. I know you have the strength to continue on with this. And you, at the end of the day, you were right. You just have to work a little differently, sharing your confidence and putting yourself out there to say, hey, I know I might not have all the experience that you guys have, but this is what I think is the best option. And they might not always listen. You have to understand that sometimes, even as confident as you can be, not everyone will take what you're saying as, you know, the right thing to do. And it just happens. And there's going to be these moments in your career. But as long as you, one, have that support system and know yourself that, like, I did what I could to make this end goal happen. And sometimes it just doesn't work. You just have to take your wins and losses when you can. And that's, I think, something that I struggled with a lot and I'm continuing to work through now. Your career is not just going to be this upward.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's not linear at all. I mean, the ups and downs, and they could be really high ups and really low downs. And it happens, but having that support system and knowing yourself is enough to keep you going.
I definitely agree with you. You know, I've been on a career journey for a little longer than you guys.
Just a little bit.
And let me tell you, I had some peaks, but Lord knows I had some valleys. and I know the type of person that I am, and I can be kind of slick when it comes to my responses sometimes. So I try my best not to play the "I told you" card.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, how do we create, you know, the buy-in and the support of the team that you're a part of and, you know, possibly leading?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that works, you know, for me is that I understand and realize that things are different. You know, 2 plus 2, yes, it equals 4, but, you know, it wasn't until later that we realized that there are different ways to get to the solution. And having an open mind, being able to accept and embrace constructive criticism,
Yeah.
I think will help out in the long run. At least it should.
One would hope.
Right.
Yeah. So, what else you got for me, Joelle?
Yes, I can think of two instances where my confidence was tested. My first internship as the assistant property manager, I did a huge project towards the end of my internship. It took me about 2 weeks to do. And I was just accounting for the HVAC systems in all the shopping centers, and they had about 143 shopping centers. So it took me about 2 weeks, towards literally a couple of days before my internship was ending, and I just remember thinking, like, oh my gosh, they're waiting on me. I feel like I'm doing like the worst. Like, I told them it was gonna take about 2 weeks, but I expected to be done before this. So I just felt like really stressed out. And then, like, he did email me. The senior VP emailed me, and he was like, hey, are you almost done? And I'm like, yes, I'm almost done. Oh my gosh. So yeah, but yeah, I was really scared at that point. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna say they had a horrible intern and things like that. But then I talked to my supervisor after, and he came to me and he was like, yeah, you did a really good job. They just used the project you did in a meeting. And I was like, oh my God, I guess I'm not that bad. So that was like good. It was like kind of like, just going forward and what you have to do. Even like sometimes you feel like you're kind of not making the mark. But then my supervisor kind of gave me that confidence back, like, you're doing okay. And then I could say recently, this whole data analysis I just did for this per diem job, there was a lot of setbacks due to missing data and people just not being responsive and things like that. But due to the fact that it was my project, I kind of got the heat for even when there was nothing that I could do but wait. So I just kind of felt like it was all my fault. Like, the data analysis got done, but not at the time it was supposed to be done. And yeah, it kind of tested my confidence in the way that, like, okay, so even if there's nothing you can do, you're still the one that's going to be blamed due to the fact that it's your project.
Right.
So I had to navigate that kind of in a professional setting. And my supervisor, she was the one who gave me constructive criticism, and she was kind of just saying that although there are things that were out of your control, you kind of have to take ownership of that and kind of just, there's not much I can do, but, once you get the things you have to do, now it's time to like start going immediately kind of thing. So, yeah, you gotta kind of take that to the chin and just, yeah. So yeah, it still makes me kind of sad. This is recently. So
I'm feeling the emotion right
I was
about
gonna
now.
say,
So pull on the heartstrings.
this was like last week. But yeah, so, I kind of like, but when I look at the data analysis and the graphs I did and the report I did, and I'm just like, you did a good job, because when it's all said and done, it's done now. So, and although everything was kind of backtracked and things like that, everyone said, even like the CEO said, you did a good job. So it's like, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. Was it just take the win when you can?
Yeah.
It's because everything is, I would have to say, like an experience, a learning experience. I don't look at it as failures. There's opportunities to learn from anything that we do, good, bad, or indifferent, and we just make the best of it and just move forward.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. When we look at our confidence level, you want to laugh real quick? Would you believe that I am one of the individuals one of the funniest individuals you'll come across that has like low self-esteem? See? Yeah.
Low self-esteem?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Why,
Absolutely.
though?
Because it's an internal thing.
It's an internal thing.
My confidence level is, believe it or not as high as people think it should be.
Really? So how, I switched flipping the script a little bit. How do you get past that?
I want to know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wake up every morning with the mindset that I have to make an impact.
Okay.
Now, I do have a very strange habit of pouring into others more than I pour into myself. So when we're talking about confidence, I have tendency to like deflect because I always question myself. So, but I'm happy that you guys are here. You guys are just doing the darn thing. I'm sitting back just like, what I say earlier, I'm not like the proud uncle. I'm sitting back and just like, wow, these young ladies are doing their thing. And just always keep in mind that you're always being observed, from the boardroom to the chapter meeting.
What? No way.
to the chapter meeting. It's just like everyone is just sitting back, just observing. And, I'm proud of you guys. So, thank you for taking this time. I know we're going to have future conversations. And
Hopefully soon.
I'm pretty sure. But thank you. I know for a fact that someone will be viewing this and say, you know what? Let me jot that down. So thank you for coming to Right Now Leaders. And we had a great episode, and I have no idea where my production team is, but I usually just throw stuff out like that.
Awesome. Thank you.
But I look forward to the next conversation.
Likewise.